Hi, my name is Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and motivational speaker. Today I'm going to tell you how to bounce back from a crushing layoff. How do you bounce back from a crushing layoff? Let's look at the scenario. You've been going to work for years at your company, things are going great, the economy's roaring, and one day you show up and you notice, hey, that's weird, there's security at the door, or maybe not. Maybe there's a couple boxes at the door and you think, oh, that's weird, or maybe you don't think about it because you're working diligently on your phone away. Or the other scenario is you walk in and you sit at your desk and you don't know anything. And you start clicking away and a couple things might happen. You're going away and all of a sudden, that's weird, I can't get on the network. There must be something wrong with the computer. Hey IT, what's wrong with my computer? Well, we need to go check out that, or check it out. Okay, so you go along and all of a sudden your boss shows up, maybe with HR staff personnel. Hey Aaron, we need to have you grab your badge and your purchasing credit card and come upstairs with us. Ooh. Yep, it does happen, and it does happen, I wouldn't say frequently right now, but it does happen. It's happened to me several times. You're just like, oh my gosh, what is going on? I just proposed to my spouse. I bought a ring, I bought a car, I planned a trip. My kid needs braces. I've got cancer. Litany of things. It's the way this always works. It never happens well. Or what happened to me one time is, I think it was late November, early November, at a company. They call it the Fall Classic. Yeah, classic, all right. And the exact line, I'm sitting at my desk working away, and the boss walks up. He didn't need the HR personnel. I'm pretty compliant. I don't get all worrisome or belligerent. And, hey, Aaron, we need to have you grab your badge and your card. And we're going to have you come upstairs. And, of course, my boss likes me, but he's got this dour face that things are out of his control, and this is what's going to happen. Oh, my gosh, I just got canned. And all of a sudden, the world begins to spin. The coworkers look at you like, don't touch the leper, you might get the disease. Well, chances are those next to you might get that disease too, but that doesn't really matter because you're on your way to being laid off, downsized, made irrelevant. What's the other phrase? Your position is no longer needed at the company, but what it comes down to is you're fired. Now, if the company fires you, there's got to be a lot of paperwork involved. You got to show just cause, all this yada, yada, yada. And now companies, what they do is they simply say, we don't need your position anymore. It's irrelevant or duplicated or whatever. There's all sorts of magic wording that happens. But whatever the case is, you're walking up with your boss to the HR personnel or wherever they are. Hey, could you sit down? And maybe security's hanging out, kind of looking over there, just keeping an eye in case you just, you freak out. Who knows? It happens. People start bawling. They will have a box of tissues. Boy, oh boy, it's never a pretty thing. And all of a sudden, you feel this surreal betrayal. Now, there is no other way to measure this or call this than a betrayal. And now I know companies have to do this. I've got clients, speaking clients who have had to go through layoffs. I've gone through layoffs. Plans change, a contract falls through, and it happens. Now, the problem is it feels like a betrayal, but for the most part, it's really not personal. You are still a human resource, which means you're a number. If you're above the line, you have a job. If you're below this cut line, you no longer have a job. And so you go in and, hi, we've got this package for you. Maybe we don't, who knows? We need to have you collect your things. Security might escort you out of the building, depending on what's going on. I had one friend, he was a C-level executive, senior level executive at a company. And he said, yeah, one day I came in and the CEO or HR VP was there, and they said, hey, we'll call him Bob. You need to collect your things and come with us. What? I've got this meeting. I've got this contract to deliver. You don't anymore. Bob. And you collected your things, and or you come to the office, you signed your paperwork, and you go back and they have a couple of banker's boxes for you, and please put your personal effects in there, and then you are escorted out the door. You're relieved of your badge and your card and your computer access. Bazow. Yeah, it's happened. It's happened to me. It's happened to friends. Chances are it will probably happen to you at one time or another. Now, this is what this video is about, is how to bounce back from that layoff. Now, invariably, there is never a good time for layoff, ever. It just doesn't happen, because when in life are you just cruising along, things are great, if I have a job, great, if I don't have a job, great. No, it doesn't happen. And you know what? The one time when I was working in Carlsbad and I got laid off, Carlsbad, California, you know what I did? I had my boxes, I walked out, people were upset and crying that I was laid off, and it was crushing, awkward. I feel like I'm a pariah, but it's just the way it is, who knows? Doesn't really matter. I no longer have a job. I'd worked my butt off, I'd been working late at night, grinding myself into dust, and now you're going to have these feelings. So let me get back to the story. Yeah, you're going to have these feelings, all right. You know what I did? I went to the beach. And you think, oh my gosh, that's horrible. No, I didn't have a wife at the time or girlfriend or anything. I mean, other than calling my brother and parents and said, hey, guess what? I've got some extra time on my hands. Do you need some help around the house? But I didn't do that. The first thing I did was go to the beach. I hadn't been to the beach in months. I paid to live right by the beach. It's all kind of silly. And I went to the beach and I just walked. Just along the beach. Now, why did I do that? Simply because I didn't want to go inside and get absorbed in my stewing, I've been betrayed, this is terrible, they need me, they have no clue why I'm so valuable. Now, let me help you understand this. To bounce back from this, you were not as valuable as the line they drew in the sand or on the paper. It is simply that. You have to realize that you are self-employed. Even if you are an employee, you are actually self-employed. You say, well, how does that make sense, Aaron? Simply because of this. Most states that I know of are at will. That means they can terminate you or you can quit without any due cause or just cause or whatever. So if they decide to dispose of you, that's it. You don't have a job. So choose to go to the beach. I know that sounds absurd. I know it sounds crazy. If you've got a wife or husband, call them immediately. Hey, honey, we got a problem. I got canned. It's what happened. Or you might choose, I think I better go walk on the beach first and then come back. So how do you bounce back from this? Because, man, if you want an awkward conversation, I got one for you. I've seen huge men cry. They were like 6'5", 250 pounds, and getting the red eyes and getting teary. I'm like, oh, dude, yeah, my wife, we're pregnant. We're expecting a kid in 2 months. I don't know. But the bounce back idea is to know that you are still alive. You are still valuable. You can still contribute to your world, to your family's world, but it simply won't be at that company anymore. The critical thing of how to bounce back from being laid off is know that your value is not derived from existing at that company. Your entire world, whether you're pushing the brooms or you're the CEO laid off by the board, your value as a human being is not associated with the value of that job. It doesn't matter whether you're earning $16 million a year or $16,000 a year. The way to bounce back from this is realize my value is not solely determined by my existence at this workplace. Another friend, he was going in and he got a phone call layoff. They didn't even have the courtesy to show up and say, hey, Mr. Smith, we're sorry, but we're changing plans. We're not sorry, really, but that's what they say. We're changing plans, and unfortunately, you are not part of these plans. Instead, they did it by phone call. Hey, Mr. Smith, you are no longer here. You will not have a job within a week. Please make the preparations. His wife was, of course, pregnant. And he was all upset. I'm like, dude, what's wrong? They bleep canned me. What? Dude. And he was all upset because his world was focused on that one thing. And I told him, Mr. Smith, just remember, you are still as smart as you are. You still have your value. You may not be working at that company to do that work anymore, but that doesn't mean you can't do that work. Just not at that company. So what? There are other companies in the world. There are other places to be. You have to have the vision to say, you know what, I am still valuable, I can help contribute somewhere, I can still earn money. You have to realize that these things happen, and the only way to bounce back is to realize your personal value is not attached to that company. Look at Steve Jobs. He got fired from the company he founded. How messed up that is that? But you know what? He decided, bleeping, because that's how he spoke. And he started Next Computer Company, which grew into this in little behemoth that in the end he used the techniques to go save Apple from itself. How messed up is that? So the concept of bouncing back from a layoff is that you have to realize that your value is not there. Your value is in you, that you can contribute either somewhere else or as your own business person, entrepreneur. That is how you bounce back from a layoff. Been there, been laid off, been let go, been fired, and that's the way it is. I'm still here. You can still be here. Do not think your world is over. You didn't die. You didn't get cancer. You didn't get in a car wreck. You didn't fall off a cliff. Didn't commit suicide. You are still here. It's okay. Plans might have to change. But in the end, every time I got laid off, it ended up for the better. And just remember that. It seems terrible now, and things might get really tough for a while, but in the end, it always ends up better, because if you're not needed there, you're not needed there. It's that simple. And that's how you bounce back from a crushing layoff. My name is Aaron Linsdau. I am a polar explorer and motivational speaker. Please like and comment on the video, subscribe to the channel. Please support me on PayPal, Venmo, and Patreon. Thank you very much for watching.